The next speaker is the Honorable Priya Manickchand.
May it please you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I wish to begin by offering you my warmest congratulations on your election to this chair. I look forward to serving in this House under your guidance, and I look forward to enjoying the wisdom and the measured attitudes that your Honor is known for in other circles. I look forward to not having rash decisions that will be withdrawn under public pressure, vain decisions, sexist decisions. Congratulations, sir. I also wish to offer my warmest congratulations to Mr. Winston Jordan, who presented his first budget in this honorable House. I did not know this honorable gentleman, and so I wasn't sure what to expect. And I believe that I can say that Mr. Jordan has single-handedly, by himself, done a magnificent job of leading his team, all of his members, in singing the praise of the PPP and the policies of the PPP by outlining them in his budget document. And so, sir, I thank you. I thank you for acknowledging that there's continuity in any state. And we say you're welcome for the thanks that you give to us, for leaving you programs that can take you and your new government forward. I wish to also congratulate, sir. It's gone silent. I haven't heard many people doing it. And I hope that now I'm doing this, they won't get fired. But the budget team that prepared this document, they're here, sitting in this House. The Honorable Minister of Finance is ably assisted by a young lady, Sonia Roopnaut, his Director of Budget, and a team who come here and sit silently and support him. And by supporting him, support every Guyanese for the goodness that will come out of this budget, whatever those may be. And so I wish to thank you sincerely for the work that you put in. I do recall last year when you were denigrated by no less a person than the now Honorable Minister of State and told some very nasty things. We on this side will never devalue your work, and so we thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I would be lying if I didn't say that we miss Ashley Singh. We miss Dr. Ashley Singh. He was eloquent, his content was amazing, and his delivery was beyond excellence. And Mr. Jordan started and finished the debate, and I congratulate him for that, finished this presentation. But Ashley Singh is missed in this honorable House. Mr. Speaker, I wished I could stand here. I wished I could stand here and say that the people of Guyana have spoken. And so I offer my congratulations to that side, and we over on this side have registered that voice and that we will work harder. But we can't say that. We cannot say that because there was such a foul-up at GCOM that this country still does not know who should form the executive arm of government. And that, sir, is a fact. That is a fact, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish I could stand here, even in the face of what we believe was a rigging of the election, what the majority of Guyana believes is a doubtful result. And that could have been cleared. It could have been cleared by a very simple recount that would have allowed us to proceed in the trust and in the unity that we wanted to proceed in. Mr. Speaker, I wished I could have said that, but we can't say it. Time will change that. And I wished I could have said, I really do want to support the new government. They're there. However they got there, they're there. And I would like to support this new government. I would like to see you do well, because I am living here. My family are living here. And I want to enjoy the benefits of a good Guyana. But I'm worried. I am worried by some first signs in very early days in this government. 26 ministers, sir. 26 ministers. 5 vice presidents. Dozens of advisors. Dozens of presidential advisors. Mr. Speaker, it worries me even more. It worries me even more that with 26 ministers, we could not find it within ourselves to name some of the prominent women who have held this party together to prominent positions in this government. Amna Ali has shadowed education very effectively for a number of her parliamentary years, and she was passed over. Valda Lawrence has done an amazing job with being the shadow Minister of Finance.
Honorable members, let us try to assist the debate by hearing what the other speaker is saying. Thank you.
In other words, shut up.
Please,
Shut up. You shut up.
please continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Ramstan may have had too much, so we can excuse him in the break. In fact, sir, maybe we should have a ban against alcohol in the lounge. Mr. Speaker, Valda Lawrence, honorable member, has led this side of the House in doing an amazing job as the Shadow Minister of Finance, as the chairperson of the PAC, who is appointed Minister of Finance. We have this honorable gentleman and this honorable gentleman, Mr. Jaipal Sharma. No, I don't want to select your minister, but Mr. Speaker, this is where we have a problem. Where women stand in this country is not a matter for one party. It's not a matter for Mr. Ramjatan. All of us have a duty to ensure that women are given the rightful places that they belong to. They should not be stifled. They must not be stifled. So, Mr. Speaker, I have serious concerns. We have seen as another early sign of extravagance, the big birthday bash and the big inauguration. Yet I will tell you later on that they cannot fix the Augsburg Primary School for $9 million. Mr. Speaker, the frequent flying with all the frequent flyers and the large delegations. Can our country afford this? I would love to support you. I would like to see you do well. But I have difficulty with whether they can when we have these issues. Mr. Speaker, the dismissal of a civil servant simply because he used an expletive to describe a minister, not to the minister, to describe a minister. The dismissal of that person simply because he said the bleeping minister. Frightening, sir. Off with his head. Dangerous signs for a new government. Mr. Speaker, a constitutional reform commission or a steering committee or whatever you will call it being set up with ignoring completely the People's Progressive Party civic, the parliamentary opposition that the government will need if they're going to change the Constitution in any way, simply because they will need a 2/3 majority. The setting up of a commission of inquiry on education, and as far as the reports go in the newspaper, that work has begun. Nothing to the only opposition party, no invitation to say, do you have any experts you would like to offer? Aren't we trying to do what is best for Guyana? And if it is, we're trying to do what is best for Guyana, then all must be included. We cannot speak of inclusive governance and leave 205,000 persons and their elected representatives out of that process. Mr. Speaker, the rounding up, these are some of the things that have frightened me. I said to you, sir, that I would like to support this government, but I'm worried. I'm worried about whether they will do good for us. The rounding up of persons we are told are victims of trafficking, and then they're criminally charged and deported from this country. Criminally charged and deported from this country. Mr. Speaker, the changing of decades of conventions that happened in this House, where the leader of the opposition is the penultimate speaker to whatever order has been given now, so that Comrade Bar Jagdev is not going to be allowed to be the penultimate speaker simply so that he could be muzzled, is a worrying sign from a 90-day-old government. Mr. Speaker, on the heels of having to wait 4 days for the announcement of the CAPE results, and on the heels of President Granger not having ever faced the press one single day or one single hour for all the time that he's been in office, comes this thing now where the government is attempting to cut the number of days that have been enjoyed by the people of this country for the last 3 years, at least, if we're to believe the speaker who went before me, to 3 days. We cannot speak of good governance. We cannot speak of transparency. We cannot speak of wanting to be accountable if you want to shut down the ability of the people of Guyana to ask you questions through us. Now, and here is the thing, Mr. Speaker. If it is true that for years ago it was 3 days, and I'm being told by the chief whip on this side, who was just recognized for her many years in Parliament, that that was by agreement, not by emotion. It was by agreement in the business subcommittee. But if that is true, for the last 3 years we have enjoyed, the people of Guyana have enjoyed through their representatives the ability to question and scrutinize the government. 7 and 6 days. If you brought that motion 3 years ago, why are you trying to shut down the same people you told can rely on you for transparency in this 2015 year? Shame on you. Shame on you. Defended by no less a person than the governance minister. Terrible governance. Brought by no less a person than the prime minister of this country and the first of I don't know how many vice presidents. Shame on the government. Shame on you. And sir, all of this leaves me with, I'll wrap up this fear and concern I have about the behavior of this new government. And I can't do it better than Leon Rockcliffe, attorney at law, did in a letter he published on Tuesday gone, on the 18th of August, on Tuesday, called Public Comment is Due from Harman and the AG on the illegal appointment of the Registrar of Lands. And here is what he says. We are subject to the pangs of confusion, uncertainty, disaffection, and of course distrust. It need not be so. And I repeat, it need not be so. Get off this triumphant pedestal of being we won and you have to take whatever, because it's not us. You have to take whatever. You are speaking to the majority of Guyanese people, Mr. Speaker, and so it is of a matter of grave concern for me. Sir, I learned an old adage a long time ago about empty vessels making a lot of noise, so I understand it.
Remember,
Sir,
it will be helpful if you address the chair.
I am, but thank you. I will continue.
address the chair.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, in education, in the field of education, in the sector of education, I think it would be unfair to the persons who have spent their lives working in education, not me, I was there for 3 years. The persons who have spent their lives working in education, you have a couple of them here, Don Hastings, honorable member. Amna Ali, retired head teacher, honorable member. Africo Selman, honorable member. somebody, a Silver City teacher, honorable member. You have people who have spent their lives in education. And when the new administration walks around, wringing their hands that this system is in disrepair and nothing good is happening or has happened, you are essentially saying to all those people who gave their lives to education, your life amounted to naught. You gave nothing. That's what you're saying to all those workers. And the thing about education, sir, in this country and in any country, is there will always be room for improvement. There is always going to be room for improvement academically, infrastructurally, training-wise, reform in terms of what are the needs of a country, and if we're going the right way, there's always going to be need for improvement. But it would be dishonest, and it is actually demoralizing to all those, many of who voted for you, all those who gave their life in service to education, to claim now that the entire system is in disrepair. Let us talk about where we are in education today. Where are we in education? Access. More than 85% of our nursery-age children can access an education. That is the highest in the Commonwealth Caribbean. Guyana, our little Guyana, has achieved that Millennium Development Goal that says every primary school child must be able to access a primary education. Where are we on secondary education access? We're close to 100%, and we have left programs that should be run, should be implemented, that will see us before 5 years, once the goodly Minister of Finance gives the money, taking us to 100% access in secondary education. That's where we are. Where are we with trained teachers? We moved from a place where we used to be 30% of our teachers trained to now more than 72% of our teachers trained. More than 72% of the public school teachers in this country are trained teachers. That's where we are. Where are we? Where are we with the dropout numbers? We have recorded the lowest numbers of children dropping out of our education system than ever before in the history of this country. In the last 2 years, we have retained more than 2,000 children in the system, most of those being boys. So we have the lowest dropout rate that we have ever enjoyed in the history of our nation. Expenditure. Where are we on expenditure? We've moved from a place where 5% of our national budget used to be allocated to education. Not talking about a nominal value, sir. I'm talking about a percentage of the budget. 5% used to be allocated to education, to the Honorable Minister of Finance coming now to boast that 14.9% of the budget is allocated to education, although I am contesting that because that is not what was allocated to education with the mixture of youth, sport, and culture in that new ministry. We enjoy the only television channel in the Caribbean that is dedicated to learning. We have put an ICT infrastructure in place that sees every secondary school and 40% of the primary schools having computer labs in their...
Honorable member, you have 10 minutes remaining.
10 minutes. Thank you, sir. What have we received from these investments? So, sir, I want to just briefly summarize that. I'm saying that we're at a good place where improvements can be made, but we need a champion for education. We don't need people wringing their hands about everything being in disrepair. There are things that can be done. Where have these good investments brought us? They've brought us to a place where we can boast year after year of great results. And results might not be the only way you can measure success or measure the benefit of investments, but it's certainly one way. We had a top student, Chirai Solomon. By the way, sir, heard a lot of comments. That top student, and in fact 25 out of the first 100 students at NGSA, was taught by our Africo Selman. Everybody in this house should give her a hand. Everybody in this house should give her a hand. We are proud of our teachers. And we should say thank them. Mr. Speaker, we've also seen. Sir, is it possible at all that I would get my time back? Thank you, sir. From 2006 to 2014, except for 2010, Guyana, our Guyana, has topped this Caribbean every single year on the CSEC exam. Every single year. That's where the investment has brought us. And you want me to tell you something, sir? We have been topping. Trinidad wrote 22 subjects the other day, and I saw an article that said the girl was Supergirl, and everybody was praising her. 22 subjects. She didn't get 22 ones. She did well. She passed them all. Trinidad was celebrating her. Our administration, say that very loosely, the executive arm of government says, syllabus, the curriculum must be weakened. The syllabus must be weakened, make they could write so many subjects. We shouldn't allow our children to write so many subjects, they won't be rounded. Let me tell you about some of these kids, sir. The girl who topped this year with 20 grade 1, she's a professional dancer. She speaks another language. She got the 20 grade 1s. Ashley Anthony, Frank Anthony's daughter, 16 years old with 17 grade 1s, wrote a book at age 11. She speaks 2 other languages. She's a cycling star. She swims. These children, sir, are capable. Mr. Speaker, there was a young man who, when asked, there is a young man, sir, he got 19 grade 1s and 1 grade 2, and when asked why he chose to write 20 subjects, he said that we shouldn't limit ourselves. So this is my call to the Honorable Minister. We've been excluded from your Commission of Inquiry, but this is my call to the Honorable Ministers. I forgot we have 2. Please tread carefully before you limit all our students. All our students don't write 20 subjects. Most of our students write 8 to 10 subjects. You need to find, and we want to talk average pass, sir. I need to move on to Region 5, but let me help Mr. Barrington, my honorable friend over there. Santa Rosa Secondary, Region 1, tucked away where half of these government people don't know where it is. 62.6% of the entire population passed and matriculated. Anna Regina, 79.72. West End Secondary, 86.52. Suze Dyke Secondary, 63. Bijavoll, 70%. That's what we've been doing, sir. And this year, the Honorable Minister of Finance has mentioned specifically mathematics and English. He's mentioned specifically mathematics and English and us trying to do better. Well, we started a pilot project a few years ago, sir, and that pilot project has shown us results. We have moved from 29% in 2012 to 45% in mathematics in 2015, the highest that this nation has ever seen. In fact, I would be happy, sir, to offer to any member of the opposition, give me your year and I will tell you what you did, what your year did in math. When I wrote CXC in 92, 8% of our population had passed English. We have moved that now to 49%. Tell me when you wrote, but you're not, actually, sir, I can't do that. They're not of the age where records were being kept. We would need younger people on that side for me to be able to do that, and I can't do it. I call on the Minister of Education and the government of Guyana to stop to roll out this program. It was a pilot program. It is successful. Roll it out nationally. Roll it out nationally and you will see results in it. I call on the minister to lay the education bill. I don't want to do it, but if he doesn't lay it, I will as a private bill. The problem with that is if I don't withdraw it and it doesn't get passed in the House, we can't bring one back, and that would be bad for Guyana. Lay the education bill. Finish up your inquiry and let's have a 5-year strategic plan. Include us in your Commission of Inquiry. It mightn't be me, We have far more. Yes, we did. We've had 5-year plans from 1993 when the World Bank said the system was in such disrepair. One of the main reasons being that there was never a 5-year plan. Mr. Speaker, I'm also the geographic representative for Region Number 5. Region Number 5 is lucky from the government side. It enjoys the service of a woman who I know gives her life to the service of people in her party. And it was unfortunate that with 26 ministers, she's not made a minister. My honest view. Jennifer Wade. Region 5, as she said, sir. Region 5, as she said, sir, has not... Mr. Speaker, Region 5, you know, this is a very worrying thing, to think that the ability or the defining of gender affairs in our country belongs to any one party. It's a frightening thing, frightening thing. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Region 5.
You have 5 minutes remaining.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, Region 5 is the largest agricultural region in Guyana. It is the largest cattle rearing region in Guyana. It is a region that has many rice farmers. In fact, many of the persons depend on rice, the rice industry, to give them their living. We have a lot of cash crop farmers. Mr. Speaker, I call on the government. It was this government, when in opposition, said the country's bankrupt and badly run, yet they offered $9,000 per bag of paddy. And I call on this government to give the $9,000 for every single bag of paddy. Give the $9,000 or pack up and go home, because you would have failed the people you promised not less than 4 months ago. Mr. Speaker, I'm also very concerned. Because when I look at what was proposed to the Ministry of Finance and what was slashed from that budget, I'm worried. I'm very happy to see that the tarmac at Central Maikoni is going to be done. But I'm worried about why the timber bridge at Champaign was slashed. I'm worried about why the reinforced concrete sideline dam at Bushlot will be slashed. I'm worried about why the Bellamy Canal at Dundee Novar is not going to be done. And I'm sure Jenny Wade, honorable member, shares these worries. I am worried, sir. I am worried about why the Novar School will not be rehabilitated for the $12 million that they need. I'm worried about why the sanitary block at Novar Secondary is not going to be fixed for $4.8 million. Yet a minister in this government wants to be paid $1.7 million. And in fact, I believe the case was just made out. I think that whole document from 2006 that the honorable member Trotman just read was to say to this nation that we were...
15. Please.
Mr. Trotman came here and read a document to us that he said where he went to the meeting with the Honorable Barjackdale. And I think the entire reason for reading that document was to talk about a salary increase that they had spoken about for ministers since then, making a case for them to get a bigger salary. The problem is, I think that's the reason he read that. And Mr. Speaker, I wish to speak. I'd forgotten completely. Forgotten completely about the. I forgot completely, sir, about the cash grant. Mr. Trotman read something just now which he says is a cabinet decision, and I am disputing that is a cabinet decision. The PPP Civic and Government never made a decision to seize the cash grant. The PPP Civic in its manifesto put in its manifesto that we were going to continue the Because We Care cash grant, and they have removed it. They have removed it, sir, from this budget, and Yes, sir. And they have given to, they
Honorable
have
member,
given, yes, sir.
please take your seat. Thank you. Honorable members, let us try to conclude our work without so much crosstalk. And I use a word advisedly, incitement. Please continue.
I'm so advised, sir. Mr. Speaker, the addition of $500 on every uniform voucher is welcome. I welcome it, and I'm happy for it. But it is $83 million. There were $2 billion set aside for parents and children last year. This addition is going to be only $83 million. These children are robbed $1.9 billion. Right? And I'd like to see, I am still open to seeing that you have put this $1.9 billion into something else in education, into something else for the parents of these children. Mr. Speaker, I'm concerned. I am concerned about some of these issues. I would say without hesitation, sir, that every measure in this budget, every provision in this budget, under every line that will benefit the people of this country is welcome and will be supported by me. Every measure in this budget that is going to benefit the people of Guyana will be welcome and is going to be supported. Oh, my complaint about this budget is what was left out of the budget. What was left out of the budget? $2 billion, $10,000 per parent left out of the budget. So, old age pension, subsidy for lights and water left out of the budget. That is my concern, sir. I wish to say, Mr. Speaker, to this honorable House that I commit myself, and I believe I speak for everyone on this side of the House, to continued service of the people of this country, wherever they are, whoever they voted for, wherever they live, whatever color they are. We commit ourselves to serving them, and we believe we can do that effectively here. Once we're not muzzled, and once the democracy that has been built up in this parliament over years, over many years by both sides, is sustained and developed even more. I thank you, sir.
I thank the honorable member.